As you know, Comp Turbo has been with me for a few years now, and their turbos have done extremely well for me, and there's no hiding it. I switched from all of the name brand turbos to these guys, which are name brand in my opinion as well, but you know who I mean. And I was very worried about the performance aspect going into it, but these have been performing better or nearly the same as the other name brand turbos. And there's a lot more benefits outside of power that I have noticed. Weight, these are extremely light turbos. They're very small but pack a big punch. As you know, I run twin 88s on a big block, and it's no secret, you've seen I've gone 180 on 26s. So use your imagination what you think 28s or 29s can go, and that is pretty fast for a medium frame turbo 88 millimeter. Now granted, you can't compare these to a Pro Mod 88 millimeter turbo because the frames are much larger, so they actually are rated to more horsepower, but these are very, very comparable with the added benefit of no oil. So the motor doesn't have that calibrated leak going to feed the turbos, or if a turbo were to damage the motor bearings or vice versa, you don't have any of that cross contamination. So that is a big benefit. I gained a ton of oil pressure removing that calibrated leak. So the motor is much happier, more oil pressure. You know, that's a huge benefit. The turbos aren't heating the oil up either. So for drag and drive guys, or, you know, casually street racing guys, the turbos, the oil is what cools the turbos when you have an oil fed turbo. So using an oil-less turbo, it keeps the motor cooler too. And like I said, none of that cross contamination of heating the oil up too much or anything like that. But the biggest thing that I like about them is the weight savings, because, you know, turbos are heavy, but these are extremely light for how much power they're capable of. And that's why I like them. But we went ahead and got a fresh set for this year. There are some new, I'm gonna use the word new things done to these ones that are going to raise that horsepower level even further. And we're excited to see how much further we can go with these, because honestly, where I'm at the end of the last year was the fastest I've ever ran, and I don't believe I hit a wall of where these turbos are at yet. Do I feel like I was really close? Probably, by the numbers and stuff like that. So I'm hoping this year, when I try to go even faster, that these newer designed turbos are going to be a little bit better. Whether that's, you know, 5 mile an hour better, a tenth better, I don't know. But when you're going as fast as the cars these days are, little changes are all you can get, honestly. You know, if you can pick up 2 to 3 mile an hour here, 2 to 3 here, you know, it all adds up. You're never, once you're going this fast, you're never gonna pick up 10 miles an hour instantly, unless you're slow. I mean, let's be honest. Unless you're still getting to that spot where everyone else is at, maybe you'll have some larger gains. But where I'm at with the beater, I don't feel like there is a lot to be gained yet. Do I have some big plans for next year? Yes, but this coming year, you know, I'm going to be trying new stuff like we talked. Radials. I did the 26 thing. I was really going to try and push that record further in Florida, but I don't know. Maybe drop some comments down below and tell me what you guys think I should push for next. But currently, I am going to be pushing for the radial thing. Do I think I'm going to go out there and win every radial race I go to? Absolutely not. It's just another thing that I am going to try. It's another thing to add to my resume, you could say. Is the small tire thing getting boring? No, I mean it's still fun, but there's a lot of events near me that are switching to radials only, radial prep, stuff like that, and slicks are not the ticket on radial prep. You could have a super fast car that goes down every time on normal prep, bracket prep, slick prep, whatever you want to call it, but as soon as they spray that glue out there, a slick tire car with an A to B tune-up could go out there and shake the tires every time, which that's just the nature of racing a slick tire on radial prep. So it's nothing against radial prep. Do I like radial prep? It's cool. One of the few cars that I tune for on radials, it's fun going fast for sure. It's fun, smooth A to B fast passes. But, you know, slicks are always going to be my thing. That's for sure. Just the amount of slick tire races around me are dwindling. There are no preps for sure, but, you know, I feel like I've mastered that, honestly. I mean, you go out there and it's fun going fast on slicks for sure. You know, there are a few competitors that are really close to where I'm been running and stuff like that. But I want to try new things. And the 26s were that last year. It was cool. But will it be cool to go 3 on radials? For sure. Will it be cool to go 3 on 28 slicks? Oh yeah. But you gotta live in reality sometimes, and the way my car sits, being nearly 60% on the nose, radials probably are gonna be easier, you know, compared to adding weight and racing on slicks like it have been. You know, maybe I'm missing the boat on radials. Maybe I'll go out there and be super fast and consistent and win some radial races. I don't know. So that's what we have planned for the future, and going to the dyno. I have thought about just doing a live stream for the dyno. I think, listen, I don't know how this stuff works, but I think I'm probably just gonna set the camera up like this and dyno the car in front of you live, I guess. If stuff breaks, stuff breaks. I mean, right? I mean, that's part of race cars. So let me know what you guys think about those ideas. Drop some comments. I do like reading your guys' comments. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever, comment. I don't know what you're supposed to do. We are running out of t-shirts and hoodies though. I do want to tell you guys, I'm working on another design, but I don't know when that's gonna come. So if you're wanting a t-shirt, I'd highly recommend you going to get one on headsupnoprep.com and get that while you can. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's it. Test. 1, 2, 3. All right. Probably fast forward this, but you know the deal. It's pretty quiet in here with no music going, but Also, got the new High IAT sensor installed. I'm gonna need some clamps first. Boy, that's a good fit. I was a little worried switching throttle bodies it wasn't gonna fit the exact same, but seems to fit pretty good. Maybe I'll wear some headphones in my ears. This is kind of boring without any headphones or anything. But I'm doing it for you guys. All for you guys. Showing all the secrets. My friends are all like, I can't believe you're doing that. Well, here we are. Right? Oh my. It's pretty tight down there. Pretty taut. Bada bing, bada boom. You want to make sure those are all in there. Don't want any boosty boys leaking out, do you? Couple ugga-duggas. Ugga-dugga. I want to rotate that up into there more. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. If I can get that under those screws, that'd be even better. See, he's got a handy dandy clip right there. That's what we use at work. Bigger tool, big job. There we go. Okay, looks like that is on there good. What do you mean? Plug in our IAT. People are gonna think I'm crazy over this video, I know. Like I said, it's boring talking to yourself. Get the blow-off valves hooked up. That's it. Alright. Pretty simple stuff. Oh, that's tight. Okay. I also wanted to show you guys, if you didn't see at PRI, or make sure you check out Brad's from Basco Speed and Performance, his YouTube channel. Maybe I'll put a link in here somewhere, I don't know. But before PRI, we did a lot of updates to the turbo kit. Added some bracing, braced the downpipes a little bit further. These downpipes are obviously Schedule 80 aluminum, as you can see, some thick boys. And they carry a lot of heat still. So they tend to warp under pressure and heat. So I've been having a few issues with the B-bands and stuff like that. So we cleaned up the turbo kit. Before, the turbo kit went down and under this pipe and back up to here, because, like I mentioned, these are mid-frame turbos. These are the new ones that I talked about earlier. Have a little extra doodads to them, you know. Still oilless. So these are mid-frame turbos, and what I was going with is, before I had large frame Pro Mod turbos down here, and having the weight way up front wasn't very good. It was not. It was difficult. I mean, I struggled a lot doing that. So I went to these very lightweight mid-frame turbos, still pack a huge punch. And so, like I was saying, Brad and I redid the turbo kit to be more streamlined. We got rid of the adapter that was down here that I could bolt the other turbos on if I wanted, if I needed more power. But overall, these have been excellent for us. And we did the same thing to over here, a little bit extra bracing, as you can see. But one major thing that you'll see in Brad's YouTube channel, we had to notch this pipe here, because I wanted these turbos in this spot. There was no doubt about it. Back here by the shock towers. And to do that over here, we weren't able to get a clamp on it. So we welded this straight to the exhaust housing on the other turbos. And now our objective was to be able to get a clamp on there, to be able to make servicing better, changing out the motor easier, whatever. And so we ground out this pipe and coped another 1 5/8" pipe into there, and it looks super good. It fits super nice and everything. The other thing I did were these fancy lines. I've got to do the CO2 side. This goes to our dome pressure canister. Garage Built sells these if you guys need some. Blaine Hill actually makes them for Garage Built, but you can source those from Joseph Thomas. I run them on the exhaust and the dome pressure. So that's why I have several of them. There's one back in there from the other down or back pressure. So just a quick little update of the turbo kit, new throttle body, EGT sensors. I've got to get all that wired in also. Yeah. All right, so again, got the EGTs in there. I've got these just sitting here for right now so I can unplug each one to verify each cylinder is what it is, because nothing is more frustrating than when I'm tuning a customer's car and they have the EGTs in the wrong spot and you're just chasing your tail. But we've got the EGT box installed. It is very plug and play. Plugs into your can harness on your Holley Dominator or Holley whatever. And to set it up, I've already got my EGTs basically in here from when it was a Mega Squirt. So we're just going to change those from a 5-volt to a can type and configure Holley EGT can settings, can device, the channel 8. So on my cylinders, I have 1, 3, 5, and 7 on A, B, C, D. So number 3 would be B. CAN bus 1 is your main CAN bus through the J1 connector. There is a CAN bus on J3. I am using the original one. Your CAN ID is the number on the back of your EGT box. Mine is 1217. So that is it. Literally, that is it. That's it. Pretty easy. All right. Well, there you have it. Basically, everything is all ready to go for the dyno. And just gotta get all the setup stuff done, you know, getting the front end back on, maybe. What do you guys think about racing without the front end? I'm gonna get it on the scales and see how it affects it. We gotta get the butt hurt bar on the back, doors on. We've also got to swap out the tires. We've still got the 26s on there. Like I said, I was planning on doing some more 26 races, but I just feel like that record is so far out there. It's going to be pretty hard for people to beat, and who knows? Maybe somebody will. And then that'll give me some motivation to get back out there and crack off a couple tenths faster that I think is still in it. But so no, we're going to get those off and getting some radials from Baron Racing, like we talked earlier in the video, Justin Heckman, and the 28s that we're going to use for Garrett's race. So we got to get all that stuff ready. But otherwise, the car is basically ready to go to the dyno. This is what's absolutely horrible. Can't go testing when there's 6 inches of snow out here. And it's literally 1 degree out today. I've had to heat the shop up a couple times with the propane heater. It's so cold in there. It's pretty bad. So that was another thing I forgot to tell you guys about. I've got very little weekends left to go testing. And it's supposed to be warming up, but I've got to work next weekend. This weekend, I'm still getting the car back together, obviously. We've got to still go to the dyno. And then that leaves us 1 weekend to test. And hopefully not have to make any changes. So, yeah, it is what it is. We're going to head down to Florida, maybe find somewhere to test. I don't know. But it's not looking so hot now. But it is what it is.